On the 18th of October, we are going to get our first look at the Magic the Gathering cross-Marvel collaboration. This is going to be held at New York Comic Con. So what is this going to be? We don't know if it's going to be card previews. Not much has been said yet, but we've seen this on an official announcement by Marvel. You can see here, it clearly says fans stopping by the Marvel booth will also be able to check out something about Marvel Contents of Champions. And then it says, and get their very first look at Marvel and Magic the Gathering's upcoming collaboration. Magic the Gathering will also have a panel with some surprise reveals for fans on Friday, October the 18th. So it doesn't say what these reveals are, but it's safe to assume we are probably going to see maybe some card previews. Will we see anything else? Maybe any kind of potential product teasers? I don't know. I feel like it might be a little bit early for that. So maybe just the odd card. The leaks that we saw were potentially secret layers. So they might, like, if we've already seen them and they are real, then they're not losing much by just revealing those anyway. And it would be nice to know if they are official or not. But also I hope it's not just those things, because if it is, then it's like, it's cool that it's been confirmed, but you know, give us some new stuff, give us some stuff to talk about. So yeah, that is really, really cool. I know a lot of people are not happy with the whole Universes Beyond thing in general, and especially with Marvel coming in. It feels very outside of Magic the Gathering, which, you know, I understand. I'm a big fan of both. This is Marvel Comics, which I'm not so much of a fan of. It's more, I'm more MCU, watch the movies and stuff, but I still think it's super, super cool. I will probably be delving into the Marvel products and stuff and having some fun with it. I think, in fact, I definitely will be. But I do get why some people are very not happy about this sort of thing. But you know what? That's great. You can just ignore it and everything stays fine. I guess the Universes Beyond discussion is a whole topic for another video. But in general, my thoughts towards this is Universes Beyond is good for the game. It brings new players into the game. It certainly brought me into the game through Lord of the Rings and stuff. So yeah, it's hard to bash it. But anyway, so I thought that was cool. What do I want to see out of these reveals? I don't know. Yeah, just some cards would be cool. I'm just really looking forward to it. I hope they just go full shebang with this like they did with Lord of the Rings. I want commander decks. I want a set boot. I want a full set that we can draft and play sealed and all that fun stuff. I want all of that. Marvel is just such a big IP, and there's just so much potential for stuff to do. I've already been like thinking myself, like trying to think, oh, what colors are each of the characters going to be? And yeah, it's just super exciting. So very excited about that. This will be at New York Comic Con. Now, I live in the UK, so I won't be going to New York Comic Con. But I really am excited to see the videos that come out after to show these reveals. And we'll definitely be doing a video covering that, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, that was our first little bit of news, but I wanted to talk about some other things that have caught my eye recently in the whole Magic the Gathering hemisphere. So the first things first, well, what we're talking about, these two things come from the Odds and Ends article that Mark Rosewater posted on Wizard's site. There were two things that I saw through these articles. These articles are where Mark Rosewater answers community questions. He picks some out that he feels like are like good questions, and then he answers them. And there was one question from part 1 and one question from part 2 that I really, really liked, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So for part 1, it is about product fatigue. Now, if you guys haven't seen, I will link my video about product fatigue up here somewhere. And this is obviously an issue that has been a big thing for a while now. And it's so cool to see them finally addressing this, because the question we can see here is, you've heard about product fatigue, that there are too many Magic products produced too quickly for many players to keep up these days, mentally or financially. Very true. The big score being crammed into Thunder Junction likely helped. Are there other steps being taken to address this issue? They answered, we have a panel scheduled for MagicCon Las Vegas in October called The Foundations of Magic's Next Era. Interesting. Where we will discuss issues such as this. The event will be live at MagicCon and recorded for people to watch at home a few days later. Very exciting. I really wish I could be at MagicCon in Las Vegas for this panel. This sounds like I find it very interesting because this whole product fatigue thing is something that I am quite passionate about. I think it is getting a bit out of hand. It's a bit crazy. I don't know how we managed to get a Bloomburrow and Dustmorn release time frame of like a month. It's been pretty annoying because I absolutely love Bloomburrow, and you will see in a minute that a lot of other people love Bloomburrow as well, and to just gloss over it so quickly has been pretty heartbreaking. It's not nice. I wish that it were in the spotlight for a little bit longer, but I've talked about this issue already, and I'm so happy to see that they are addressing this issue because it is crazy, just the amount of product. And what I hope we get out of this, the result being, is that we will see maybe just more time spent on each product, each set that comes out. The more time they have, the more they can polish it, play test it, all this stuff. And yeah, it's just better. It means each of these planes we can get a bit more invested into, take a bit more time. Again, I've discussed all these topics in my product overload video, so I don't want to go too much into it, but I'm so happy that they are actually addressing this issue instead of just being like doing what they normally do, I guess, not trying to shoot too many shots at Wizards, but the whole corporate thing would be to just ignore it, and at the end of the day they will just keep printing it because it's what the shareholders want. They will keep making their money, so on. But they understand. I mean, they went into this in the whole bans video that they did about them taking over Commander now. It is in their best interest that they keep the community happy so that the community keeps buying products, right? So if this is a known issue and people are pissed off and the sales are starting to reflect that, then they are going to take action eventually. So the foundation of Magic's next era. Who knows? Predictions? I mean, I'm hoping that they basically show us that they will be releasing fewer sets, or they have some sort of, I don't know, plan, like they said, putting the big score in with Thunder Junction. Are they going to do that again? Because obviously these things get planned very far in ahead. Now, if they're trying to take some immediate action, maybe next year they have crammed maybe 2 sets into one, and then are going to do that. Like with the Death Race set, it goes across multiple planes. So maybe they have started to bring some of that stuff into that set instead. Maybe that's something that they've done. I don't really know. But yeah, that will be very interesting to see. So yeah, I wanted to just highlight that. I thought that was interesting. Okay, odds and ends part 2. Here we had a question saying, I feel both Bloomburrow and especially Thunder Junction are ripe for further exploration in future sets. I know you have a scale rating the chances of returning to a plane. Can you share your initial ratings for these new settings? Right, so here we go. This was answered. For those unaware, on my blog, I've created several scales to talk about how likely something is to return in a Premier set. For planes, it's called the Rabiah Scale. Is that Rabiah Scale? Rabiah Scale? I've written 3 articles about it, blah, 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 blah. The lower it is on the scale, the greater the chance of its return. If I had to grade the plane of Bloomburrow on the Rabiah Scale, I'd give it a 2. Right, 1 being the most likely, and it's a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. So extremely likely. If I had to grade the plane of Thunder Junction, I'd give it a 7, which means I'd be shocked if we never return to Bloomburrow, but feel a return to Thunder Junction is far less of a certainty. Not a surprise at all, but it's so good to see this in writing. Mark Rosewater, head designer, has said himself that he would be shocked if we are not returning to Bloomburrow. Okay, now somewhere else in this article it also talks about the speed of which they return to planes, and they've been saying they've been experimenting with returning to planes sooner with the whole kind of not coming away from block sets and just moving through planes quicker. It means that they can return back to planes quicker, and they said they return to Eldraine faster than they ever have with any other plane. So yeah, they are looking at basically, we don't know, it could not be very long at all that we will be returning to Bloomburrow. Very, very, very excited. I'm very glad to see this. I hope it's not too long. I mean, it's so obvious that they know it's going to sell well. They could literally, I've also realized that, you know, Bloomburrow is set in Valley, right? That's one part of Bloomburrow. Bloomburrow is a massive plane, so they would just have to introduce a different place, and suddenly we could have, you know, 10 different animal archetypes. We already know they explored with different animal archetypes as well, which is somewhere else in this article, where they had like 15 or something different animals, and the ones that didn't make the cut, they were just cameos, like the skunk and the fox and stuff like that. So yeah, would be super excited to see these animals be fleshed out a bit more. Yeah, so that was really great. Super excited. I hope we come back to Bloomburrow soon. Yeah. Thunder Junction, I couldn't give a shit about. I'm sorry for all of you guys that liked Thunder Junction. I also heard it was a great set in terms of like the plot mechanic, and like mechanically it was very fun. The cards were good, but you know, for me, if the thematic theme is not there, I can't just enjoy the cards for being playable cards. Like, for me, I need to be invested in the art and the world, and that's just a part of it for me. It's a very important part for me. So I've completely just ignored Thunder Junction in general. So that was it, guys. I just wanted to go through some of the latest news that I have seen that have really caught my eye that I wanted to discuss. I've been away for a while. I do apologize for that. I've had some family issues, so I've had to take a back seat from YouTube, but I'm back now. So yeah, I hope you found these pieces of news interesting for you, and yeah, just look out for the next video for maybe where we'll be discussing our latest Marvel news. Very, very, very exciting for that. Now guys, if you're new to the game, you're new to Magic the Gathering, and you want to play Commander but you don't know where to find some games near you, then my latest video talks about this, so why not go check that out. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you all very soon. Thank you.